CountryWide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lampp.
Very excited to talk about our next guest. And for me, Andy, you wonder why. As a young child, I collected the little figurines. This gentleman was one of them. He was also, of course, the Otago captain, was he? At the time, or involved in the Otago team when I was just learning to love rugby. Taine Randell has a deep connection to Hawke's Bay, growing up there, and is doing a full circle after a career overseas in business. Welcome to the show. I did not know on Monday I was going to say this. Taine Randell.
Good morning, and neither did I.
That broke in a hurry, didn't it, Taine? Hey, look, really appreciate you on the show, mate. And as you can tell, there's a little bit of a fangirl there. She is a very big Otago fan. I'm a Crusaders fan, but you'll forgive me for that, I know, or probably not, to be fair.
Yeah, no, great to be here. I'm really, really excited. Bit of stress, and I say originally, even up until recently, not a unanimous decision in the Randell household, with teenage daughters and that sort of stuff who are embarrassed by their parents anyway. So, but I'm looking forward to it. I count myself lucky. New Zealand's been really good to me and my family, and now feel as I'm in a really good place to be able to contribute back.
Let's talk about your post-rugby career from 2006. You went on to use your degree, and talk us through, for those who haven't really followed your career since 2006, which is 20 years ago now.
Yeah, I know, 20 kilos as well. So I finished playing rugby in London and moved straight into a job with an oil broking company, or commodity brokers, of which I was in the oil swaps division. So we did Brent and WTI swaps and futures, which was a really exciting time pre-GFC, where things were going all over the place. It was brilliant. And as I say, as a first time job, it was pretty much you learn on your feet. They gave you about 5 different telephones and 10 different screens, and that was it. Just get going, mate, sell something. was it. And trial by fire, but it was a fascinating time for me. High commodity trading, and London at the time was the world's centre of finance, so it was brilliant. And then we came back here, and I handed my resignation in on the day that Lehman's Bank went bust in London, and the main reason being there, my lovely wife was sick of the UK weather. We'd had 12 years in Dunedin, and she was coming back home to Hawke's Bay, and I can come if she wants. Came back here. Sort of took a year and a bit to settle in, and then I got involved in the ETS. And the link there was when I was in London, when I started in my oil broking job. That was when the European emissions market started. So when I came back armed with a little bit of knowledge, enough to be dangerous. That was my first sort of working job back in New Zealand, which was it was fascinating as well. And since then, I've had a couple of jobs, culminated in we had a family business, freeze drying business, which was on a pretty good global sort of scale here in Hawke's Bay, which we did all Watties freeze drying, beans, sweet corn, and peas, and we also developed freeze-dried pet food and baby food. So that's been pretty much it. And now the next chapter in my life, that's why I said in terms of qualifications, I've been to university, which is a great time. Played sport and got paid for it, which when I first started was never a consideration. And then, as I say, in overseas and back here, had a bit of a working career. Now feel qualified to go on this next part of my life, which is hopefully going to be a good career in politics.
Taine, there's 3 jobs in New Zealand that I always say are the 3 most important jobs. There's the All Black captain, there's the President of Federated Farmers, and there's the Prime Minister.
Oh, sorry, 2. No, I'm just joking.
You stop it. You'll get me in trouble. You've ticked one of those boxes. Are you going to go for the make 2 out of 3?
Being Federated Farmers, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well done, well batted away. Very experienced.
I've been asked about that and stuff, and it's like in rugby. everyone wants to be the All Black captain. And same thing I've been told, and everyone wants to be the Prime Minister. Genuinely, for me, I don't see this is not. I don't. This is, politics for me is not something a career path. It's not something that I'm going to do as a stepping stone to a job for the UN or a banking job afterwards. This will be the last thing I do in my working career, and however long that may or may not take. I've no aspirations for leadership at the moment. All I'm doing is getting up to speed as quick as I can. I've got a few thoughts that I'm keen to push, but as I say, that stuff is way down the line.
It's interesting you say that, because we've seen so many career politicians and we've become frustrated with that whole pathway, yet people like yourself that have actually had a good career. We had Katie Milne on earlier this week, that have got a good basis and understanding of boots on the ground, are the people we need in politics, but you genuinely wouldn't really want to, the way politicians are treated these days. Was it a really big decision for you?
Yeah, it's been, as I say, not exactly a unanimous household decision or Randell household decision, but I think my wife said, what are you doing this for? You know, what are you, do you need the pro? No, well, you've been the All Black captain, you know, business-wise, and we can keep doing that sort of stuff. Why politics? As I say, I don't see this as a job, and it's not a career pathway for me. I guess you just turned 51 last year, and you're just sitting around with guys your own age, moaning and groaning and whatever else. And I guess one of the things was you either do something. I've got a few concerns about. I love our country. We've got a great country. You know, we've got so much more potential as well. But there's a few risks around what we could or can't do. So, you know, you either put your head in the ring and try and do something about it, or turn into an old grumpy guy on the sidelines.
Taine, I'm not going to ask you what is a woman. I thought that was a fairly unfair question this morning. But what I am going to ask you about is your priorities. You're in the Hawke's Bay, obviously water storage. You're in Tuki. We've spent a lot of time about Tuki, and I know energy security. Why are those two things important to you, or so important to you?
Well, I'll go energy first. So our freeze-drying business, we were part of a large group of businesses who used to negotiate power deals together. And in 2022, we had three-year renewal dates. Our power bill doubled. And as I say, we're that as a family business, that freaking hurt. And we're trying to, horticulture, agriculture, we've got some really premium stuff here in New Zealand, but we're also pretty good at doing peas, for example. And we freeze-dried all of Heinz Wattie's peas. And crikey, you double your power. Our main expense was basically labour and electricity. And why that got my goat, so I'll keep going. Then last year, those 3-year deals renewed again. I'm pretty sure they're up about 70 or 80% again. So like what? But what used to be a massive competitive advantage for our country, which was renewable, sustainable hydro energy, geothermal energy, has become now a weakness for our manufacturing in this country. And that gets my goat. I think I actually don't blame the electricity companies. They're doing what they're being told by their owners, which has been the government for the last 40 years. I think it's just been a massive failure. Short-term vision of our politicians have led us to where we are today. And so one of the things I think I can add is actually, you get bureaucrats doing market reviews, handing to people who don't really know about their sector. They hand out portfolios all the time, and just you can do that. You can move from police to power. I mean, like, what? I've genuine experience, and I've seen the effect of our own business. I've seen in Hawke's Bay, Wattie's has closed their frozen vegetables business. McCain's has closed these have been intergenerational, incredibly well-run, good businesses gone, and I see it as a direct result of our poor electricity policies.
It's interesting. You just triggered something. I'm using my famous Gemini on my computer to find out the exact facts, but I know that Jacqueline Routh is big on this. So the State Services Act meant that ministers no longer had to have work experience in that particular field. And if we bring that back, we would have experience coming into those ministerial roles that would be really, really helpful. So, yeah.
I think in my experience, we used to export some pretty innovative. Our company, we developed the first ever freeze-dried premium pet food in the world, and we processed for 2 companies. They were the biggest suppliers to China and a lot to Europe and the States. Dealing with people in central government, they are great for regulation. They are not great for innovation. And when I think about people doing market reviews and all that sort of stuff, or looking at supermarkets, or looking at the electricity reform, that sort of stuff, they don't know how the market works. And they give that advice to ministers who, not from that, with no industry knowledge. Hence, I'm not surprised we are where we are.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got some tough competition there. I know we just about need to go to a break in a couple of minutes. You're up against Catherine Wedd, a friend of yours.
Really nice lady.
Yeah. Good people in that region in the Hawke's Bay. So it's going to be a tough battle for you. You said it's not unanimous in the family. I've had a personal experience with that. That's not unanimous at all. I know what you mean by that, but it's tough. Are you ready? You thought All Blacks captain was tough. The personal attacks, the barbs you're going to get. You ready for that?
Well, people, exactly. People, but I say, captain the All Blacks to 5 losses in a row. You talk about.
Well, I do remember that. Yes, I wasn't going to bring that up.
I know. So the attacks then personal, vindictive, all the rest of it. And as a 23-year-old, I was at the time, that hurt. I was scarred by that for a long time. But then you sort of realise, well, and even now I think with the more personal and vindictive and stuff that is, usually comes from people who don't add a great deal of value. So Gordon Hunter, one of my earliest coaches in rugby, and then he said, if there's something you can't do about it, then you might as well roll up the carpet and have a sleep. And that's, my approach. It happens. It's great, and it's just normal. We all have a stake in our country. We all have a stake in the people running it. We're all entitled to our views, and that's sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're not.
And it looks like Taine has frozen. He might work.
Sorry, I'm not sure. Sarah, are you there?
Yes, I am. I think we might have to work on rural connectivity as another policy with Taine Randell.
There he goes. I don't know why they lost. I actually got you fine. So obviously there was just a wee breakdown there, Taine, but I certainly had you coming through loud and clear at my end, so I'm not sure what's going on. We're just working on this.
Are you there, Taine?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear Andy. I can hear you as well.
Yeah, wonderful.
I can hear you both.
We definitely think you have the resume for success. And Andy, I actually Googled and found out Catherine Wedd's is quite far down the list, so she needs this. She'll be hungry to get in as an elected MP. So we're going to be following your electorate very closely at the election, Taine. Best wishes, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Great, brilliant. Thank you both.
CountryWide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lampp.